So how do we contribute back when we've made a change? We saw that earlier. Once we've made that change to the activity title, once we reinitialize the repository, it actually overrode our changes. So how do we contribute back? So this is not quite streamlined yet, and there's a little bit of fiddling on the command line that's needed, but this should give you an idea of how this works. So first thing is to go to the Safetag Toolkit GitHub repo and clone it. So if you have uploaded your SSH public key to GitHub, then you should be able to use the SSH method, but you can also use the HTTPS method to download and clone the repo if you just want to follow along and give it a test. I'm not going to do this right here, but I'm going to show you an existing clone repo, and you see here that it has a .git folder, which is actually used to track the history of your changes. So what we need to do is to point the Safetag Toolkit package to the version that you just cloned. So first thing first, we're just going to back up the default content package so that we can restore it later if we want to. So to do that, we can use this command. That's just going to back up the existing content package and into a folder called Safetag Toolkit.back. We could have moved it as well. Actually, now that I've copied it, I'm just going to remove it. I definitely should have moved it. All right. So now we are going to link, create a symbolic link. So with -s here, from the cloned version of Safetag Toolkit, which you've seen I've downloaded, I've cloned in this folder, and we are going to link this to the Safetag Toolkit. It's a typo here. I'll fix that in a sec. Okay, so let's do the symbolic link here. There we go. So now what happens? Well, as you see here in the workspace, it's still pointing to the same place. However, now if you go take a look at what's happening in packages, Safetag Toolkit now actually points to the place where I've cloned the repo. So let's make double sure of this by listing what's in here. So if you add a slash at the end, then that's going to list what's in the repo. Okay, so you see there's the .git here. Great. So what do we have? Well, I've made that change, so let's just make sure that when we start the toolkit, the activity title here is going to be updated. There you go, check config files. So I've made that change off camera, and here, there you go, it's here. Great. So it seems like our front matter is fine. So now I'll show you a little something with Atom, which is quite useful, which is that there's a Git tab. Right. So yeah, to have a Git tab, I actually need to do things slightly differently. I need to add this repo. There we go. There we go. And then it tells me there's a change that hasn't yet been staged nor committed. So Git has several phases. All right, so that's the change, and you see I've changed activity title to check config file. This all look good. I'm going to stage the file. I'm going to commit it saying fixed wrong title. Okay, I'll commit this, and now this is ready to push. So for those of you who prefer the command line, You can do all this with the command line, and here it's telling me that there's a commit, and in the commit log, oops, you can see that I have fixed the wrong title. Great. Okay, so now though, how do I publish this? Well, if you keep on working locally like this, then you can keep track of changes that you make, and you don't necessarily need to push them back. But if you do want to push them back, I'm just going to show the simple case where I have access to the GitHub repo. In other cases, you might want to fork the repo and create a pull request. I might go into this in another video. But I'll show you the simple case for now. So what I like to do ideally is not just push the change, but also publish a new content package. And actually, the current content package is version 0.2.3. And I would like, now that I've committed my change, to actually bump the version up. So I can do this with npm version patch. That's going to create a version 0.2.4. It's going to push the tags to GitHub. And so now GitHub should tell me that I'm with version 0.2.4. It's created a new release here. Great, but actually the thing is that it hasn't yet updated the npm registries, which is where the content package is really published. GitHub hosts the source code, but it's up to you to work on the source code, push your changes to GitHub, but then only once in a while publish the repo. And so I'm going to now use npm publish to publish the repository. Obviously, all of this is set up with my account. This would work differently if we have branches and whatnot. But there we go, just updated it. It's now version 0.2.4. Now, actually, when someone initializes the repo, they are going to get my change.